I think one of the most challenging things, and I don't know if I could speak for all teachers, is that we are here to teach. We're here for the children. But I feel a lot of times there are so many directives put upon us by the higher-ups, all of these changes that are made that are bureaucratic. They come from the government, and they are set upon us that we have to do these changes seemingly every year. In the end, it comes down to the teaching and the learning and the communication, and that to me is something that hasn't changed. It's a constant. I'm going to put this another way. If somebody is sitting in an office at a cubicle, what Dilbert is the character, and they have a computer in front of them, that is what they're facing for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I get to work with people. I get to work with great colleagues. I get to work with children. The interaction you have in schools like nothing else. If you can have good conversation, if you can make a difference, the things that I learned from my students is second to none. And to me, that energizes me. And that's something that'll keep me going for a long time. While you're in high school, start to figure out what you like, what you're good at, where you can excel. Try to be a little pragmatic, a little practical, and start heading in that direction rather than waiting until you're 21 or 22. For me, it happened sometime during college. It wasn't too late, but that's when I started to say to myself that this is the direction I want to follow. Well, my degree was in history, so I always loved discussing it, talking about it, sharing that with others, having great conversations and debates. And after I got my history degree, I said, well, what can I do with history? And it was a natural choice to go into education. I got my master's degree in education, and that's what I wanted to do. Still took me a few years when I started teaching, but when I got here, it was like home for me. It was wonderful. It still is. Well, it's not easy to get a teaching job these days. Way back when I started, I was looking at the odds, and I worked in an elementary school. I was an elementary school teacher. At that time, 6th grade was still in the elementary school. I was one of the few males that were there. It seemed like a good fit for me and for them. At some point, it changed when 6th grade moved to middle school. When it moved, I moved. And when they moved me, I was very apprehensive. I enjoyed the elementary school. When I came here, I actually got to teach my subject matter with a group of kids that I love. It was a natural fit. People often stop me and say, you're crazy for teaching pre-adolescents, but it's the best. They don't know what they're missing. It took me a while. It took me a couple of years to get my foot in the door, to even get an interview. A lot of rejection letters. They may have been nice, but just the same, it wasn't. It's the same idea for anybody who's trying to get a job. You need to have experience. Well, how are you going to get experience if you're not given the opportunity? So it took a while, and I worked in many of the schools in this district, and I kept smiling. That's the way I am. But my feeling was, it's going to happen sometime, but you just have to stay positive. Your attitude is what dictates everything in life, and I think it helped me along the way to get where I had to. Red tape occurs everywhere. You just have to work your way through it. It's easy why I enjoy it. It's hard to say what is the most fun, but I've been working in youth groups ever since I was in high school. So working with kids is second nature to me. I have coached wrestling here as an assistant, softball for the girls, soccer for the girls. I've helped out in other areas as well. Bowling is something that I enjoy doing, and when it was offered as a club or activity, it was not ultra competitive, but it was a way to obviously see everybody in a different light, when everyone could let their hair down and kind of decompress after school. So it was a lot of fun for me to get to know students on a different level, rather than have to be serious and say, okay, turn in your assignment, it was, tell me about your day, what's been going on, and I get to coach a little bit, if that makes sense, in bowling, and help out a little bit with a little guidance and instruction. It's a lot of fun.